Hi there, this is garyryanblair, and if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, or anybody involved in selling something business to business, you're going to love this message, because we're going to talk about how do you topple any competitor. How do you invent new rules through what I call strategic repositioning? So let's get going. See, the revolution in information and communications technologies has fundamentally and permanently altered the domestic and international business landscape. As one of the most far-reaching consequences of these changes is a massive shift in the competitive balance of power. See, for the first time in history of commerce, 5-person boutiques can take on multinational giants and win. In one fell swoop, competition has become more ubiquitous, intense, unpredictable, democratic, and, in one word, difficult. And it's only going to get tougher to generate competitive advantage by simply doing the same old things, just a little bit better. See, technological changes have ushered in an era of what I call radical strategic repositioning. Competitive advantages and profits will belong to innovators who transcend the existing parameters of competition. Strategic repositioning forces competitors to play by the new rules of the game, and I'm talking about rules that you yourself have largely devised. And by establishing these new rules, you knock your competitors off balance and you create a temporary monopoly over the critical success factors in your industry. And I want to repeat that. By establishing these new rules, what you do, in fact, is you knock your competition off balance, and most importantly, you create a temporary monopoly over the critical success factors in your industry. So let me explain to you how do you do it. You see, there's 3 varieties of strategic repositioning. The first is to create an entirely new industry. Now, arguably, the purest form of strategic repositioning is to construct an entirely new industry from scratch. But if you're going to defy conventional wisdom, you've got to be committed. You see, having a brilliant, timely, and powerful business concept is a terrific starting point, but it's simply not enough to guarantee success. You must look at the value that you're offering and the infrastructure required to bring this concept to life. And trying to impose a radically innovative new concept on an existing infrastructure will simply not work. So number 2 is to reinvent how an existing industry operates. You see, the opportunities for creating new competitive battlegrounds are by no means limited to developing entirely new products or attacking new market segments. Equally rewarding are the opportunities to those innovative enough to reinvent the way their current business is done within existing markets and industries. Inevitably, your new formula will attract imitators. However, he who invents the new game and writes the first set of competitive ground rules usually stakes out a solid first-place position. And everyone else, well, they're relegated to playing catch-up. And number 3 is to set the de facto world standard for an emerging industry that others are creating. You see, the next best thing to inventing an entirely new industry outright is to create the standards that everybody in that industry has to meet or else. This trick requires a heavy dose of luck, of skill, and of timing, but owning the DNA of your industry or market makes you the leader of the pack, and makes you leader of the pack immediately. And precisely because strategic repositioning goes against the grain of conventional business thinking, it will be increasingly important in the new world of business. See, leadership will be based on improvement that is not merely continuous and incremental, but frequently nonlinear and exponential. In the past, much of this improvement was driven by technological change, but as technologies become more commonplace, a constant supply of ideas and approaches will be needed to gain competitive advantage. And rather than slug it out for temporary advantage in a well-defined market, tomorrow's leaders will be creating entirely new industries, entirely new opportunities and competitive space for themselves. The key issue is simply this: competing for existing markets is rapidly becoming yesterday's game. And if you aspire to make any kind of impact in the new world of business, then you must realize that you're really playing an altogether different game. And I'm talking about competing for the future. The future dictates new rules. If you don't write them, I assure you, someone else will.